Can you tell me a little bit more about maybe some of the peaks and the valleys of this process?
I mean, we're in COVID times.
Yeah.
This the short film, was pre-COVID. It was in March 2019 when I released that short film, and to go through the development process, and then COVID hits, and that's made the process challenging. But it's also brought us closer together. Just in terms of having to look after each other to make sure that we're making the show in the most safe way possible, and everybody doing their best to put their effort forward in that regard. And so that's life though. At the end of the day, and it's like yards after contact, right? Like you catch the ball, you get hit, but you keep the legs moving, and every day you just take steps towards the goal, and you look up, and all of a sudden it's 6 days until you release it to the world. So I wouldn't change a thing for the world. Every process has its bumps, but I wouldn't change a thing.
You know, One other thing that I find really interesting is not only how much attention that it garnered after that trailer and how many people were excited about just the concept, but the response that you got from Will Smith himself, who I think, obviously we all associate with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
This has been a long time coming. This was something, I had vowed I would never, ever touch the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Over the years, things had come up. And then Morgan posted the trailer. He shot a mock trailer for an idea and the dramatic reimagining of the show. And that thing exploded in my mind in a way that I went from an absolute hell no to, oh my goodness, this could be spectacular.
And him now being a part of it. What was it like to get to work with him?
Unbelievable. Will is just the best guy. And I remember when we released the short film, it was less than 24 hours when Westbrook, his production company, reached out to meet. And, they said Will wanted to meet. And so the next day I go to Calabasas, and I actually ran into Jaden in the lobby. And I go upstairs and I meet Will's manager, and, Will's on FaceTime. And he was down in Miami shooting Bad Boys 3. And he was just so excited, like, yo, like, this is crazy. Like, what do you want to do with it? And I gave him a quick pitch of my vision, and right away he was just he's just the nicest guy, and just so incredibly warm and appreciative of the vision. And so I flew down to Miami 2 weeks later, and we started discussing like what this thing would look like. And by the end of the trip, we shook hands and got into business together, and jumped into the development process. And so I can't say enough about Will, and all of the wisdom that he's imparted on me is just invaluable. And so it's been an incredible ride, and I can't thank Will enough for his support of this vision. It's been amazing.
That's so awesome. I know you're doing a lot of these interviews right now as we're getting closer to the premiere date, but I'm curious, is there something that you want to talk about in regards to Bel-Air that you haven't been asked about, but you think that the world should know?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think it's important for viewers to know just the authentic elements of the show. Like in Philly, like we're actually shooting in West Philadelphia, which is really important to me. And that was important from the onset, was really honoring that community. Because it was important for viewers to see Will's life before he got to Bel-Air. What was the things that he woke up to every day, and seeing that his worldview before coming to Bel-Air, wasn't just violence and there was a lot of love, and there's a lot of love in that community. So making sure to highlight the Black experience holistically was something that's very, very important to me in the show. And, I remember being there on the very first day of shooting on 60th and Market Street, and all of the kids in the neighborhood and just people in the community coming up to us and being so excited that, we brought the project to Philly. And that's how we started the shoot, just like how we start the show, Will's journey in Philly, and to see young Jabari Banks just from the onset approach this role, and these big shoes he had to fill with just so much confidence is truly remarkable. And the local, some of the local talent there in the form of D4M Sloan, shout out my boy Sloan, who's portraying Darnell. He's from West Philly, an incredible West Philly artist, and Easy the Block Captain. Shout out to my guy, from Philly as well, portraying Rashad. And so you have those really authentic elements because these are people from these communities, and that's what we wanted to highlight.
Morgan, what do you think people should know more about you as well? And what can they learn from your journey?
Man, that's such a great question. you know, I started my career in the line of a Best Buy, you know, when I graduated high school, and I knew no one in the business. I didn't grow up around anyone in the business. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I didn't go to film school. I didn't go to college. You know, I just bought a little Canon T2i and built a career with it. And so I would just say to anyone out there, if you've got a dream, you know, take one step at a time, and just every project, every time you pull out your camera, just try to get a little bit better. And you'll look up one day and, be 6 days out from releasing the show, you know, and it's such a blessing. And I have just so much gratitude for this entire process, but, you know, always bet on you and always trust your gut. You know, there'll be people that try to tell you out there of like, oh, it's too big of an idea. That's too crazy. Why would you do that? Don't listen to them. Block out the noise and bet on yourself every single time. If it's in your heart and you believe in it, if it's an idea that keeps you up at night, don't stop until you put it on screen, and just know that it's possible. You know, when people see my journey, especially, you know, young people from my community, young Black boys, young Black girls, people of color, but all people really, like, but it's really important for me to sow into the next generation. And hopefully they'll be able to see my journey and say like, oh, like I can do it too. And that's all I can hope from this.